In middle school, I hit my head in a game of kickball, and as a result, lost part of my vision for almost an entire year. I couldn't focus my eyes, and needless to say, reading music was out of the question. Along with this vision loss, I also experienced terrible migraines, which prevented me from playing oboe during this entire period of my life. Luckily, I was able to continue violin with my wonderful teacher, Margaret Jones, who taught me the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto by ear. While I was unable to see the notes on the page, learning the music orally brought on a musical epiphany for me. And suddenly, music was so much more than an academic study of notes and technique. It began to make sense, and I knew then that music was my calling in life. It's cliche to say that my senior recital was my pivotal moment during my undergraduate years. But it was the first big project that I took on not only as a musician, but also a manager and organizer. At Eastman, I performed on many of my friends' recitals on both oboe and violin. When it came time for mine, I programmed Corigliano's Concerto for Oboe and Orchestra. But as the name implies, it required an orchestra. I cashed in my favors of playing on others' recitals and convinced 40 of my friends to be in my orchestra. I received a grant from the school to purchase the score and parts and take a lesson with Humbert Lucarelli, who Corigliano wrote this concerto for. It was an honor to perform with so many of my friends, and the organizational and managerial skills I learned during this process are instrumental in my career today. My first year in WindSync was a whirlwind. I was excited to be finally doing professional chamber music, but with the added twist that we play everything from memory. As the only new member of the group, I needed to cram not only a 90-minute concert program in my head, but also a 45-minute education show of completely different music. The others in the group were supportive, and I eventually found my footing. We then competed in the fish-off competition, and the group decided it would be best to compete with a completely different set of music that they had all performed before, but I had not. Namely, Maslanka's third quintet, which is a beast of a piece. So without having any previous performances of this piece, I tried my best to keep up with the others at the competition. When we got on stage, it was a fantastic feeling to play our hearts out together and really feel like a unified group. We ended up getting first place, and I've never felt more sure in my life that I was meant to be a chamber musician.